Introducing Built to Last, a new podcast by American Express. I'm Elaine Welteroth, and I'm excited to host the debut season where we will be deep diving into the stories, history, and continued legacy of small businesses that shape American culture. Through these important conversations, we'll hear how the Black business leaders of our past have inspired today's Black-owned small businesses and communities. Join us for the debut season of Built to Last on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Empire.
Heel back to Hachimura. Konnichiwa.
First off, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
It was more just shocking to hear from him and understanding that he gets the most assists from me and the most spoon-fed baskets ever.
You know, the culture is actually damn good.
To sit up there and to say you don't have a culture problem in the nation's capital, everything about the organization points to a culture issue.
One guy took a in another guy's shoe.
I'm a little pissed off about it, but I know how I am. I was kind of expecting it. It's disrespectful.
It was like Eric Killmonger going for total domination. What tongue is mine?
We're not going to be fucking sunk this year. We're the Stanley Cup champions! Yeah!
This podcast is all over social media, so follow us on Twitter at BeltwayBroPod, Instagram at Beltway_sports_bros_podcast. Also the Facebook group, just search Beltway Sports Bros Podcast. And you can also find us at BeltwaySportsBros.com. There's a podcast player right on the front page. If someone you know doesn't want to or know how to download a podcast app or even knows what a podcast is, just tell them to go to the website and hit play. Simple as that. Thank you for joining us today. We are the Beltway Sports Bros. I'm Matt Vazana, and as always, my brother Noel. Noel, no disrespect to the other guests that we've had throughout the course of this podcast, but I would say our guest today is probably the biggest to date. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No offense, but this is Washington lore.
Yes. Listening to this gentleman, and it was a little before my time from his playing days, but I've always respected what he's done as a player and also in the media. I've always been one of my all-time favorites. Today's show, which you probably already know this from the title, we'll do the drum roll, please. We're going to have the great Doc Walker on to talk some Washington football team, and I'm sure some other topics will come up as well.
Yeah, so nobody wants to hear your voice or my voice anymore, so why don't we just jump right in and not waste any more time with it?
Yeah, let's crack some skulls.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, on to Doc.
Empire.
All right, well, let's bring in a man who needs no introduction, former tight end and Super Bowl champion, honorary hog as well. Honorary, right? Or were you an actual hog?
Ain't no honorary. I had too many broken bones for that.
Right. Well, the great Mr. Doc Walker, thank you so much for coming on. Also, you can follow Doc on Twitter at RickDocWalker, so please do that. Thank you again so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. How's everything going on your end?
Good. No complaints, man. Just, 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
We finally beat a worthy opponent, and that you don't start until you beat somebody that's better than you are. And it shows you can elevate your game and that you can also play by the rules. We've been our own worst enemy with turnovers and penalties and drops and fumbles. If you eliminate that, they have enough talent to control their destiny in this division, as the Giants did in Seattle, as they did in Pittsburgh. That shows you everybody's trying to go after the NFC East. I say not so fast.
Right.
Be careful, because this is a prideful division that has a great interior play. The key is that if you got bigs, then you got a chance to make some things happen. And if we catch the ball better, it'd even been worse.
Right.
I mean, they should have stormed through Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, it should have been a nail biter. They should have stormed through them. And so I'm anticipating that in Arizona against the Niners, this will be personal. There's a lot of bad blood, which makes it even better.
It's great.
And the Buffalo Bills went in and tapped that tail. And the Niners have some injuries, but so what? Everybody's got injuries.
Next man
up,
Everybody's
right? Dealing with COVID. Man up, show up, and let's see what happens.
What do you think's primarily changed over the last 3 games? They kind of looked dead to rights about 4 weeks ago.
The Giant game, they were an embarrassment.
Right.
Coming off a bye week,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Flat as a pancake. And so it has nothing to do with the coaches. It's up to the fellas. The fellas it's their season. The coaches will be here or somewhere next year, they'll be employed. These players won't. If you don't play well enough, you're out. But you can be mediocre coaching and be in forever. I mean, look at Dallas.
Right.
Going back to the Steelers game, Doc, I felt like they kind of beat them at their own game, so to speak. They kind of bullied the bully, How did you feel about it overall? Do you think that it was just that it was a good game plan with only rushing 4 and keeping everything in front of them on the defensive end? I mean, what do you think led to that and not beating a talented team like that prior and then just coming out like gangbusters against the Steelers?
When you play a Hall of Fame quarterback, you got to take what you can take because he's dictating things. He's that good. He avoids rushes. I mean, he's not as elusive as Kyler Murray, but he gets the same results. Big Ben is a Hall of Fame player. Dallas could have beaten Pittsburgh, but they didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is in that lull. Being undefeated is a chore. That's why only one team has ever done it.
Right.
The Indianapolis Colts opted out. They may have had a shot. The Patriots had a shot. It's the one thing I wait for every year now. The Dolphins celebrate. They had a ball. I'm happy for them. Somebody's going to pull this off. But with today's rules and the secondaries being ravaged by horrible calls and bad rules, the offense should have an advantage. The way this game, you can't hit the quarterback, can't hit the receivers. The backs are the only people playing real football now. And so it makes it easier to upset someone. Plus, it's human nature. It's going to be a team that no one respects to beat you. It's the way it always is. I've only been undefeated once in my life, 13-year-old pony baseball.
That was a good
25-0. And the coach told us before the season, he said, I'm the best coach in the league. I picked the best players, and we're not going to lose a game. And this guy, Herman McCulley, I was scared to death of this guy. I'm a pitcher and playing short. And the game we almost lost was against the worst team in the league, the Redlegs. I'll never forget it. We won 6-4. We were down in the 5th inning. And just as he said, because we didn't think they were capable of beating us.
Sure.
Because they sucked. And that's what gets in your mind. You have to fight that. That's why the Belichicks, of the world and the Sabans and the great coaches are so far and in between. Because it takes Joe Gibbs. Joe would just rip people apart if they said we were good. He never let anybody say we were good.
Right.
He just never allowed that to happen. We were always the underdogs. We're 14-2. We're the underdog. We're always underdogs. And he built that in us to say, forget about what they say about you. Prove it. Prove it. And so a lot like this team, we went 0-5 his first season, but we adjusted. This team was terrible early on. They've adjusted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Been through 3 quarterbacks. They've been through 9 offensive line, and they are adjusting to this. What it tells me is that they have some good kids. They also have some good coaches.
I was going to ask you about that. They obviously started out the year slow. I kind of attribute that to youth and the fact that there was little to no offseason.
Nobody else had offseason, so it's the same.
That is true. That is true. But I will say this. They still are starting out slow in the majority of games. What do you attribute that to? Is it coaching? Is it youth? Is it a combination of both?
Combination of everything. I mean, they came out this game, at least they weren't down by 20. They kept it. So this was a great improvement against the best team they played all year. When you have your best performance against the best team you've played all year, people have to stand up and take notice of that. Just as the Giants went out and beat the Seahawks, it makes you go, wow. The Giants are ahead of everybody, to me, in the division. Their coach has done the best job of relaying his attitude, getting them to buy in. Hell, he had a fight with offensive line coach, fired the guy. They're not messing around.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't block Williams up front. Nobody's blocking this guy. He is dominant. And we could have had him. We took Sheriff over him. Then we didn't get him when they traded him. I was like, oh, what are we doing? Williams he's been that way since high school. So he's legit. And there aren't a lot of guys that raise that kind of hell every week from an interior standpoint. The young man out in L.A. with the Rams does it. This guy's doing it. We're flashing. I thought John Allen had his best game as a member of the football team. And so those 2 Bulls inside from Alabama are playing good football. Tim Settle is excellent. Our linebackers had their best game, and it works in conjunction. And so whenever you get to Shazer Everett on the field, 31 and 22 are getting it done. and they're physical.
Just so you know, Noel's not a fan of Shazer Everett.
I'm his number one. I'm the head of his fan club.
I thought you like to know
because
that.
Look how many drop balls have happened.
Yeah.
The poor kid 88 from Dallas, he's scared to death. I mean, all these people have dropped because they're scared he's going to separate their head from their neck. And this dude is ferocious, and we needed him. We were weak at that position.
Absolutely.
So I was just a little concerned that when going into the season that we had Apke and DeShazier as our depth, and we could end up in the same boat that we have in past seasons where one guy goes down, then we're thin at the spot. But you're right. DeShazier has played above and beyond where he's played in previous years. I can say that.
Well, the staff has a lot to do with that. I mean, it's obvious that these guys now are starting to be coached up. You can't coach people until they allow you to coach them. You got to learn what they do. It's not what you want them to do. It's what are they capable of doing. So Jack Del Rio illustrates that every press conference. He's the only guy I listen to over there because it ain't no BS. We're working at it. They got to get better, but it's up to the guys to adjust. So our linebackers had their best game, and the Steelers suck running the ball.
Right.
So, I mean, we took advantage of that. You play somebody like the Cleveland Browns, or you play somebody that's going to ground and pound, you're going to be in trouble if you're not ready for it. We ran the ball a little bit better. We lost our best back, our best player on the team. Terry was not 100%, but because he gutted it out, he forced his secondary to pay attention to him, which opened up for Cam. You know, and if 15 could ever catch, it would have been over.
Right.
That ball he dropped, he scored. He's that dynamic, but he doesn't catch the ball well yet. So we got to get those things doing. So, and 82 is just playing his butt off.
Absolutely.
So we got a playmaker there who's blocking his butt off. He's a receiver. He throws the ball. I wish they had ran a quarterback sneak with him on the one.
That's what I thought they were going to do.
Too.
And then they got kind of cute there.
Aren't you amazed by the quick turnaround by him? Seems like he's put so much work in, especially on the blocking side. Run blocking and pass blocking. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
Coaching. I give their staff, when guys develop, you get a guy the credit, and then you get a coaching credit. When guys suck, I say the coaching sucks.
Yeah.
Because Dwayne Haskins couldn't set his feet for 4 weeks. Well, who the hell's coaching? We got 3 coaches. You know? So I always go, they were on him, I'm on them. Figure it out. Figure out what works for him.
Yeah.
And adapt to him. They never did that.
Exactly.
They were forcing square peg round hole. Then we get the other kid comes in, he plays well, he turns the ball over. When he doesn't turn the ball over, his legs were good. He was coming. But Alex is better than all of them. And he's proven it. And once he gets really in the groove, and he's hasn't had a month yet of taking first reps. This should be his best week. Last week was his best. He started off scary. I was about to yank him. And then, because, see, I don't take it personal. I'm trying to win the game.
Right.
If I had to play 4 quarterbacks to win, I'll do it to win the game.
Sure.
And I'll start him the next week. It's not personal, but I'm not going to let a guy sabotage my chances to win because he's off. He adjusted himself, and he was fantastic.
Support for this podcast comes from The First One with DJ Khaled, a new podcast only available on Amazon Music.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Khaled, and this is The First One. We hear from all the A-list music stars like J Balvin, Nas, and Kelly Rowland about songs that didn't change the game, but changed their life.
It's almost like sometimes before you even get in the industry, it's like you set up to fail. And there's so many moments where you can win. And the winning is great, but it's so many things that you go through to get to the win.
And so much more, who tell their stories about their first hits that took them to the next level, changed their life, overlooked to being overbooked.
When I was recording the song, I already knew it was going to be a global hit. And I'm not joking, my G. I really felt it inside of me. I was like, I just can't wait to see it at number 1.
Join me every Thursday with The First One drops, only on Amazon Music. Let's go.
Are you a little concerned about the volume that they're passing, though? I mean, they almost passed the ball 50 times in the last game against Pittsburgh.
I mean, it's not – I hate it because the top 4 teams in the league run more than they throw.
Right.
Everybody that's really good runs more. So if you don't want to be in that category, then suit yourself. I'm not going to be bitching about this every week. That's on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're not running, do you think that they've only really ran on who? The Cowboys twice. And I think early on, Turner would give up on the run way too early, like a lot of coaches do, right? Right. And I think it worked with the Cowboys, so it's easy to stick with it. But he still seems to be having that issue. The last, I would say, what was it? The game before the Steelers game, they weren't really successful early on.
Yeah, but they fumbled. That wasn't on him. Gibson a beautiful play. Look, throw on first down all you want. I'm not against throwing as long as it works. What I want to do is establish who we are. We don't know who we are. I want my personality to be, we're going to knock your butt off the ball and then set up my play action.
Do you think that they have the personnel to do that? I mean, I know obviously Sheriff is there, but
I mean, they got that kid Lucas is playing his butt off. You know, that line is big and physical, but we're in too many 2-point stands. I want my guys hand in the dirt, forward lean. We're coming off the ball. And if you can't deal with it, then I'm going to maul you. If you deal with it, you'll force me to counter. I'll go to play action. I'll change. I'll move the pocket. I'll run sprint game. We don't run screens. Well, a lot. I've never seen a draw all year. So, but again, when you get a young coordinator, he's a millennial, he's doing it his way. I'm not mad at him. I think he's done a hell of a job.
Yeah.
But it's not in their nature. They don't get credit for runs in their mind. Although the Lombardi Trophy is named after the guy that ran the
ball, right?
Yeah. But, they don't get it.
I always say the NFL's it's a 3-point shooter's game. It's just like the modern NBA. It's everybody wants the flash.
Trying to get it to be.
Right.
But yet the Kansas City Chiefs run it. The Ravens run it. Everybody good runs it. Okay, or they've got Aaron Rodgers. Well, if you don't have Aaron Rodgers and you don't have the kid up in Seattle, it is about your quarterback. It is quarterback driven. The rules, everything is built for the one guy. Well, our guy can throw it. He's smart. He doesn't really turn it over. And as he gets better, and he got better. He is something special. And so I just love the fact he's so competitive. And if they would simply, we decided to go convert 3 wide receivers and not have a back. Well, we got backs. They can run. They never get in the rhythm, And so I'm not a big guy on substitutions. I want the guy's tongue hanging out. But it's not my job. So I'm just supportive as possible.
Well, moving on to next week's game, or this week's game, the 49ers. After this massive win against Steelers, nobody expected it. Well, I did. I called it. Just saying. Pretty close. But regardless of that, what do you think the chances are against 49ers? And in your opinion, what does Washington have to do to actually win this game?
Same thing they can do every week. Not give it away. They got to punch people off the ball. We got to stop the run, and we got to run. Then we set up our pass and take shots. We got to do whatever the defense dictates to us. If they let us run, we run. If they put 8 in the box, we throw it. We do whatever to counter them. It's not personal. But you don't get to go in and say, well, this is what I want to do. No, you do what they allow you to do.
Right.
Unless you want to turn it into bully ball, which I prefer. And then we line up and we just kick your ass off the line of scrimmage. If you can't deal with it, we control the game. Right. But that takes – and Turner, I'm not mad. First year guy, hey, come on, man. He's coming. But you never want to put a teenage babysitter with an infant. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
I got 3 kids. There was never a human being that ever kept my kids that didn't have a kid. That was my rule. You can't babysit for me unless you have a baby.
Yeah, no learning on the job.
None. You don't learn on my job. I'm not bringing nobody in that's never done something, and I got a young quarterback that needs to be coached. But never. All that being said, man, Turner is doing his gig. He's getting this thing together. He's adapting. He's evolving. It's not personal. He knows more about his personnel than I do. I'm just a guy screaming at the TV saying, hey, let's let Morgan Moses impose his will. Lucas is 345 pounds. Let's not waste that, making him backpedal. Let's let him charge, man. So Schweitzer, you got Big Nasty, Sheriff, let them eat. And if they do that and we hold on to the football, I like our chances.
Yeah, I mean, I think that really McKissick has really impressed. I think even Peyton Barber should be getting some definite carries. He's a bowling ball, man, and he just every time I see him take the ball, he is full speed at the line.
And they're working them in. I mean, to their credit, they're developing. But now it's December, and you're 2-0 in December. Now all that matters is what you do in December. September's forgotten. It always is. What matters now. And we got to run the table in December to have a chance.
With Gibson out, do you think that Barber's going to be the lead back now, or are they going to lean on McKissick?
I have no
more?
idea what they're going to do. Yeah. Either one of them.
What would you do?
I like 41. I'd run until his tongue ran out. Yeah. But they're smarter than I am at it because they know him better. So you just do what you're doing. You rotate. You find out who's got the hand, who's feeling it. You know, it's a lot like horse racing, except they're humans and they can tell you how they feel. You don't really know till you're getting into the groove. But on that first series, I'm gonna test them. I'm gonna try them. First guy breaks one, gets a hot hand. I'm tongue coming out. We're going. He got to tell me he's out because momentum in this game is critical, and you got to wear people out early to discourage them. We want to make this 49ers throw because they got a backup quarterback in. We got pressure. We got to tear his butt up, and the way Sweat and Chase and the two Bama boys and Tim Settle, they're bringing it up the gut. Our linebackers, as I said, had the best ball game. If they can build on that, because the Niners are loaded. Tight end, skill guys, they're freaks. They win Super Bowl. So all you need to know is despite their injuries, they're better than we are. So I want to go in like that. I love being the underdog because it doesn't do anything for you to think you're better. You got to prove it.
Right.
Let's go in and let them ride high and go in and punch them in the mouth. We got them on a neutral field, which is to their disadvantage. And for us, it's road game either way. We don't care. And then you go down in there and you go after them. And that's the beauty of this. It'd be good to see Trent again. And now he doesn't know these guys. He didn't play against Sweat. He didn't play against none of them. So we got to go after him. Him and Kerrigan, that'll be fun. I hope they get a chance to go at it. But Trent's a hell of a player. But we got to get to the quarterback. This guy's trying to be good at it. We cannot lose to a backup quarterback.
Right. You know, it showed a lot of character for them over the last 3 games to fight back the way they did, and especially kind of hitting the mountaintop with Pittsburgh. And I think it's going to show even more character if they can go into Arizona, beat San Francisco, and show, okay, we didn't rest on our laurels with the Pittsburgh game. Yeah. And I think because they have so many young guys, to me, I think that they can go in and beat San Francisco personally. But I'm just a little concerned that they're coming off such a high off the Steelers game. What do you think about that?
Well, they've been so low. I mean, it's one thing you get that one high. All you got to do is think about losing to the Giants twice. That's all they need to do. Keep the Giants in their mind and get back to New York. You want to play them again. You want to make this thing do or die. So I think we're healthy, which is good. There's no excuses. The Niners are scary, and we have to go out there and not give up the big play, make them grind. Steelers couldn't do it. Most people can't do it. You know, we sustained some drives. So Alex is not going to turn it over. If we catch the ball and don't fumble, stay on sides, do our job, we win. Because they got the talent to do it. We're not making it up. Just look at them. Defensively, they can play against anybody in football. Yeah. If our corners will play tighter, as they did coming on, we've got to get tighter coverage. And if we do that, take more chances, we're going to get beat. It's the NFL. We just got to win the game. As long as we do that, hey, it's all good.
It's all gravy.
It's all gravy.
So team is one game outside of a wild card. That's incredible to me. The fact that they're bringing in 7 playoff teams now, obviously tied with the Giants. The Giants have the tiebreaker. But what are your predictions for the rest of the year? What do you think this team's going to do?
If you listen to me, I don't do that. I'm like, we got to win this week. All that matters is 49er game. All that other stuff is if you got to put an article together and you're in print.
Yeah.
So you got to fill it up. I don't have to fill up anything.
I should have known, Doc. I'm sorry. I've listened to you for so long. I should have never even considered that.
It doesn't matter. If they lose, they're done.
It's all done.
So I'm going to this thing saying this is Russian roulette. We are in, I said, run the table. We cannot lose. So if you start talking to them, I would never discuss with my team, here's the probability. Here's the deal. This is do or die. We got to win out December. If you're not ready to do that, then let's just forfeit. Don't waste my time. But we go out and we do our damn jobs. We put in the work in practice, and we take this thing serious. And we stay COVID-19. We got to abide by those rules. Some teams are getting a bad deal because some idiot is undisciplined. So there's a lot going on. But if your coach could deal with cancer, can you follow some damn rules?
Right.
To me, it's so simple. Based on what Ron Rivera has shown them this season, man up and go get this and shock the world. And that's what I think we're in position to do, but we got to beat the 49ers on Sunday.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much,
Thanks,
Mr. Doc Walker.
My pleasure.
Huge fan.
Well, we'll keep doing it, man.
Yeah, let's roll it.
All right.
Let's keep going.
You guys got to get a
Let's
little
do it
earlier,
again.
man.
No, we will.
My extra
we have day jobs, we got kids.
No,
it's a whole
I get
thing.
it. And listen, working during the day, when you told me working man, we'll make it happen no matter what.
Absolutely.
Because this business, they need us because most of the people on the air are spewing crap. And so whenever chance you get a chance to lay it out the right way, I think it's the right way. This is not fantasy. This is not gambling. This is football. And so it's all done between the lines, and it's all on the guys. It's on them. They make enough. They have no excuses. That Giant game, I'm still pissed about that.
Me too.
The first one.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
I know I said last question. Do you think, and I believe in my heart of hearts, that Rivera wanted to lose that first Giants game?
I'll never believe it.
Never believe it.
You don't think? I do. I just feel like that it was eerily similar to the Dolphins game the year prior when the Dolphins put together that horrendous play to lose that game,
Ron,
tanking for
he
two.
He was doing him. He was being him.
Yeah.
Well, the logic of it that he said that on the road they go for two, but there's nobody in the stands.
But it's hard to change when you've been conditioned.
Yeah.
Right.
The quarterback choked. He got out of no man's land. Dude, do something. If you throw it in the end zone, you could get a PI. If you do nothing.
But kick the field goal, and they had all the advantage they had.
I was for it. I'd still go for it.
You think so?
Not the way Allen ran the play.
Right.
To me, you need your behind whipped.
Right.
If you don't have a special play that you've been working on since day one of training camp, all the good teams, 2-point conversions, it's like stealing for them. They run a run option. They got to read. They know, and they've worked on it every stinking day. Well, we got a new quarterback.
But at the end of the day, 2-point conversions are what, 50-50 league average.
Like you guys said, those games are done. We got, like you said, Doc, we've got San Francisco coming up.
Yeah,
I think we have our own destiny here. If they win out, we're in.
We got to win out. Not if.
Yeah.
It ain't no if.
Yeah.
We have to win out.
Right.
That's the pressure you put yourself into now.
Yeah.
Which I love that. Because there's nobody on the schedule that you should be afraid of,
I agree.
And that's the beauty of it. Now, if Kansas City was on the schedule, I'd be like,
that's a whole other level.
I don't know if we can match up with their speed in our secondary, but we don't play them, okay?
Yeah.
To hopefully the last game of the year. So you look at your schedule and you think they're not outclassed by anybody. They just beat the undefeated.
No.
Now, look, the Steelers can't run the ball. The Steelers have played some tight games. The Dallas had them on the ropes. So this is not the steel curtain yet. But they're working on getting to where they've got to be. It's the best thing ever happened to them. Get that undefeated thing out of your way and become a better team so you can beat Kansas City, Baltimore. Let me tell you what, the Buffalo Bills, that's where we want to be. We want to be that team on the rise that people are going, oh, my God, what the hell are they doing?
That's a fun team to watch, man.
Fun team to watch. Receivers, tight ends, but the quarterback.
Yeah.
Nobody pulls this off without the quarterback.
And he lit up the 49ers last week.
Yeah, he lit them up. And Alex, I'm going to tell you what, I'm so proud of him now that he's healthy and getting his bearings together and learning how to deal with the new body. Hey, man, I'll take him every day because he gives you a chance to win. And now everybody else has got chipping around him. 15, catch the damn ball. And if he does that, I'm telling you, we had another weapon and we got it going.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Again, thanks.
No, thank
Doc.
you guys, man.
Thank you.
So really appreciate it. It was great talking some football with you. And again, you can follow Doc on Twitter at @RickDocWalker.
Game day, man. I'm having fun tweeting for 3 hours during the game. You know, if you're on the sidelines, you can't do anything but watch and stand. And this has been it's like COVID. You know, whoever thought plastic and shields was a high Zoom, you adjust.
Yep.
If they take something away, you create something else.
Even if we have technical difficulties, you fight through it, right?
The key is get the job done, man. Nobody cares about your personal issues. It's supply and demand.
Right.
You know, and so I'm still able to express myself about the game. I'm fired up. It's so exciting because I'm so used to being close right on it. And you don't get this perspective because you don't have great vision because you're too close.
Yeah.
This, I'm watching, I'm listening. Our Twitter nation is on fire, and people are so emotional, and so am I. And it's so great, and that being able to share that, because without it, I'm not used to just watching games that I care about. I'm used to working the games I care about, or doing college football, and just being so. I'm always the happiest guy in the building because I'm actually getting paid to do this. And I could be doing this at a bar for free and having to pay and drinking beer. So all of what we're doing is a slice of life, you know, and you just got to fight through this and stay in it long enough that it pays for itself, because if you really believe in what you're doing, you'll never stop doing it.
Totally.
Because that's what it's about in life. Do what turns you on. You know, what excites you, the stuff you dream about at night, that's the stuff you want to do in real life.
Well, we're doing it right now.
Hey, man, this is one of those things.
This is why I am here, because I'm there now. I get it. And it's a society we have in sports. We have to stay together and focus on it, get the product out, do what we got to do. The people will choose who they want to listen to. That's not on us. That's on them. You just throw strikes. I say throw strikes, get people out, and there'll be an audience. And you don't ever please everybody. Hell, I don't want them anyway. I don't want everybody.
I say that all the time. You don't like
I'm not
it.
built for everybody.
Yeah, you don't like it, turn it off.
No, but that's why they put on labels. My shit label on forehead. This could be hazardous to your health. You know, caution. Check a physician. Make sure you're strong enough for this. Because it ain't for everybody. I don't want to be for everybody.
Nope.
You know?
Well, one thing's for sure, Noel's not for everybody. I promise you
He's
that.
my kind of guy then. He's my kind of guy.
We're on the same
Tell you
page,
what,
man.
We've had a lot of people in this country that aren't quote for everybody. They've done pretty doggone well, okay?
That's for
Just
sure.
be you. As long as you guys stay true to yourselves, it will work. We'll make it work.
Thank you.
You got it, man.
Thank you. Really appreciate that, and thank you for the kind
Thanks,
words.
Doc.
And
Always,
again,
man.
hopefully we can do this again at some
course
point
we
later
will.
down the road.
Of course we will. All right.
Earlier, though, for sure.
Oh, no, whatever it takes, man. Just not on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, right.
Well,
thanks.
I was like, are the Skins playing tonight? What are you talking
No,
about?
man. Patriot. Look.
Did I miss something?
I
All
dissect the
football.
Patriots. They're a test study for me.
Yeah.
I just love seeing the best do it. It's even better when they've got quarterback out. They've got injuries. They got 7 guys, starters on defense that opted out. And yet, they're still around.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Because he's the best ever. And how they coach their people up, the kid in New York is a byproduct. The young man in the Miami Dolphins is a byproduct. The Atlanta Falcons staff, they're everywhere. Now, it hasn't worked out for all of them individually, but if you look at the Tennessee Titans and you tell me that there's Vrabel's one of the best right now.
Yeah.
And matching
absolutely.
wits and what he's doing. And that's why I'm so disheartened in the past. Not now. I like where we're going. We've never even interviewed anybody, to my knowledge,
From
out of that
staff,
tree.
right.
It's the only thing I'd want if I'm an owner. I go find out who's kicking everybody's butt and see if I can get him on my team.
Right.
I mean, Snyder's willing to pay, so I don't understand where it didn't come from.
It don't matter what you're willing to do if you're not willing to pay the right people.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. No, he's guessing. You can't guess at this. You hire consultants. You pay people to help you build your business. You don't go into something new and try to figure it out. Who does that?
Agreed.
Well, a lot of people do because the NFL is a cesspool. because they make money no matter what. So, I like in Europe with soccer, if you suck, they take your franchise away from you. They don't allow you to be a perennial F up.
Oh, yeah.
And I just think that the NFL should really look at it and govern itself better. Now they're coming up with all this Black Lives Matter crap where they're finding people if you can't make people hire people that are rich. You know, and it's embarrassing.
Right.
It really is embarrassing.
Right.
What they should do is take their programs away from them if you lose 4 or 5 years in a row, because you're a detriment to the product and the shield, you know, and it's a daggone shame the people that get passed over just because they're not white and they're running around doing this stuff, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. It's a total embarrassment.
You were right in soccer, and I'm big on that, is a lot of times after they have, just like with our elections, it's 4-year terms, and they re-vote for some of their general managers and other people in the organizations, and they re-vote them from the fans and the season ticket holders.
If the NFL had that, this league would be flipped on top of his head. 3/4 of the league would be flipped all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're absolutely brain dead. But they get checks, and they just keep doing it. People keep coming out like zombies. Yeah.
We probably have about 12 different owners at this point.
Yeah, it's the same as quarterbacks. We got about 12 in the league that have worked their salt out of 32. That's embarrassing. And without a league, a feeder league, it won't get better. With the exception now that the NFL has become college, now you'll find guys like Burrow. I thought he was magnificent. Yeah. I cried when he got hurt. I just love watching him. I didn't think he was going to beat us. That nickel and dime chipping, we gave him that. He took it, but...
That's what I was trying to tell Noel. He didn't listen to me.
Now, let me tell you something. That dink and dunk...
I'm just a Burrow fan.
No, I am too.
Yeah.
No, I am too. I hate that he got hurt because I wanted to beat him. That would have been a quality win. But I love him. I hope he recovers. We need competent quarterbacks, or our league is awful.
Yeah.
The Jets, who wants to deal with that? Chicago Bears, the New York Jets, the Jacksonville Jags, horrendous. And so that's why when you get good quarterbacking and staff that can help guys develop, then we get a better return.
Absolutely. Well, all right. Noel, you got anything else?
No, I'm good. Big fan. Again, thank you, Doc, for coming on. It was awesome, and we've got to do this again. Absolutely.
We will. Blow up Twitter, guys.
Yeah.
Blow it up.
All right, we'll do.
All right, man.
Always do.
Later.
All right, thanks. Talk to you later, Doc.
Empire.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks again to Mr. Doc Walker for...
Absolutely. That was freaking awesome. Thanks, Doc, man, and we got to do this again.
He took far too much of his time, and, you know, his time is very important, obviously, and he spent it with us. So I don't know what to say, but it was a thrill, and, again, we really appreciate it. If you like this show, please share it on social media. We're on all podcast platforms. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, the Facebook group, and our website, beltwaysportsbros.com. Hope you guys enjoy the game, and we will see you on Tuesday.